Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hey, my man.
Hey, bro.
What is going on, brother?
What's with the one mic?
Oh, I've only got one mic because I got a mate here today. But for now, let's fucking just intro this shit.
Straight in.
Also, should we crack a fucking little can of South Coast Hydrate, right?
Oh,
What do you reckon?
God,
Cheers, bro. Cheers, man.
Cheers. We got.
Go. Hell yeah.
It's a moment.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Delicious and hydrating.
And healthy.
Welcome back to the Split Shift podcast, where we cut through the bullshit and the noise of the fitness industry. This is our season 3 finale. My name is Jamie.
And my name is Daniel. Welcome to the new episode. This is a very, very special one. We have a guest here today, and we could not be stoked for this epic human to be here with us, joining us today. Let me go through the introductions. This man right here.
Bro, go on, man.
I'm building up the tension, all right?
I'm so tense.
Today's guest is not just one of the most resilient people we know. He is the definition of choosing growth when life gave him every reason not to. From a professional rugby league to total blindness after a random unprovoked attack, Matt Syron came back harder, stronger, and unshakably focused. This episode is a lesson in mindset, in what's possible, and in how to live with zero excuses. Matt Syron, welcome to the episode.
Yes, that's the boys.
We are on here.
We could not be more stoked to have you here, man. This is
I'm stoked to be here, boys. Unreal.
Oh, but man, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, is there anything else you want to say about yourself?
No, not really.
No?
Great intro.
Dude,
Great intro.
we sum everything up.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Cool.
Good. Fuck.
Look, let's just dive straight the fuck in because we know you're a busy
can't
man.
stop
You've got a lot of
smiling.
shit going on. Multiple business owner, you know. So let's dive in. So before you talk about what happened to you, who was Matt Syron before the Ironman, before the races? Were you born with this level of resilience, or is it something that you picked up along the way?
Nah, something that I don't think I definitely wasn't born with it. Growing up as a kid, obviously I was in a family where I was brought up in a single parent home. My mum brought me and my brothers up, and we were 3 kids who were just fat and just outrageously bad. We weren't bad. We were just mischievous. Do you know what I mean? And I were the eldest brother. I'd look after my brothers, and we ended up being these really fat, annoying kids. When I look back at it, and it's like I don't know how my mum dealt with the situation. There were things like when I was growing up, I'd steal my mum's car and all things. There was many different stories, but I think where this all stems from is I never want to go back to being that kid who was just fat and a letdown, do you know what I mean? And it were from a young age, we were all really out of shape and weren't active. And I never want to go back to that. And I believe, in my mind, it sort of chases me. And that's why I'm who I am today, really. That's the main reason.
So it's something that you almost brought up. You learned.
I built it myself. I built it internally myself. Do you know what I mean? And that thing of, I never want to get out of shape. I never want to be that person who's got nothing. I want to grow as a person and keep growing and get better and meet new people who are better and be something like that.
I love that, man. You're definitely an inspiration to me and many others.
No doubt. Me too. Man. On with that real quick, was there like a moment where it really clicked where you're like, time to make the change?
Yeah, so there were a moment, my brother, there's 5 years between me and my youngest brother, and my middle brother's a year, just over about 18 months younger than me. And my brother at the age of 9 going 10 was 150 something kilos. And they basically sat my mum down in a doctor's and said, listen, your son's got around about 6 to 12 months to live. And at this stage, you're looking at it like, how's it got this bad? So my brother never went to schools and stuff because he got bullied and things. He never wanted to go to school. And my mum was just like one of them people, she didn't know what to do. And she was lost herself and she'd gone through a lot of trauma in her life. And she didn't know how to deal with us not being happy. So the only thing that would make us happy is just give us money to eat and do whatever we wanted. So we ran wild with it. And yeah, the turning point was we have to change something here drastically. And that was the main turning point of, right, our Tommy's going to die. We've got a year, really, if we don't figure this out somehow. So then that were it. All of us went on a strict diet. All of us started changing things in our life. My mum were a very fit woman. She worked 5-6 days a week, still trained. But in hindsight, when I look at it, like, I look back and I'm like, my mum was so busy doing other things, she just couldn't control us three. And yeah, that was a major turning point of my brother being told he was going to die. And he got put in all these magazines. He got down to 80 kilos. He lost 70 kilos. He lost another human of his body. Mate, the bloke's only 5'9". Like, mate, he's mental how much weight he was carrying. And yeah, we look back on it now and we can actually have a laugh about it. But at the time, it was scary as anything. He was my little baby brother. He was only 9, 10. A 10-year-old, if someone walked past me and there were a woman with 3 children who were as fat as we were, I'd be like, you're disrespecting your kids, you know what I mean? You're a disrespect to yourself. What you're doing to these kids don't have choices. You're making them choices for them. But at that point, I was like, my mum must have been in a bad place, do you know what I mean? And she was. And obviously from what happened to me, and I was stuck in England last year, me and my mum were together every day and we went through things of what happened in our past, and she's still traumatised, mate. It's mental what she went through, but it's life, innit? So,
Wow, it's crazy that there was a moment where you had to take control.
We are, yeah.
Not even just a choice, but it was absolutely essential. I wanted to bring it up, like bring it back a little bit more before the injury and all that. And I love that you mentioned there was that turning point there. I wanted to bring up when you started your journey towards becoming the Ironman, the Ironman Matt, and that was a pretty,
Matt.
yeah.
That's a good ring to it, doesn't it? But fuck. We'll stick with it, yeah?
I was a little skeptic, but
no, it's good.
It's good. That's just crazy in itself to be going to that level. Now, what we'd love to hear is what was your relationship with discomfort and just the challenge back then, especially leading up to getting to that point?
I say this to a few people. People are like, what makes you decide to want to put yourself in them circumstances? And even yesterday, I wrote phone to Jackson Merritt, and I think it's one of them things that I like being in discomfort. At that moment, you don't like it. But then after you've achieved it, you're like, I want to be back in that moment, because after it is unbelievable. And it's not like rugby league or a team sport or anything. You're there by yourself. No one's coming to save you. And you've got to just pick yourself up and just keep grinding through it. And at points, there's dips and valleys. There's highs and lows through it all. And the only person getting you through it is you. And that's what I like about it, is no one's coming to fucking save me. Just rip in. And that's the best thing about it. And I love being in the end goal, like even the Ironman, once you cross the line, I'm like, fucking take me back there, because I want to be back in it as soon as I finish. After I did finish the Ironman, I went and drank 6 beers, and I'm like, mate, I'll do that again tomorrow. Come on, let's go. It's that good. It is that good. But
with an Ironman, how long are you out there for?
Oh yeah, well, it's half a day, and it's, let's say 12 hours. And obviously, professional athletes who do it for a living, they're doing it in 7, 8, 9 hours. But for me, it's just breaking them barriers of how much can I push myself. I don't look like an Ironman. I'm not a triathlete, do you know what I mean? I'm a 100 kilo, 5'11" bloke. Like, I played rugby my whole life. And I just wanted to prove to myself and to other people that used to be like, you can't run a marathon. You're not built to do this. Even my own family members are like, don't bother, you'll get injured, you'll do this. I'm like, yeah, that's what you think. And then I just love being in it. It's awesome, man. It is awesome.
It is a sick mindset, like both sick, awesome, and also very, very disgusting.
Yeah.
Spending that long with your demons by yourself, with nobody by your side, you were just on. It's absolutely insane. So you were having that. When did you complete your Ironman?
December 2023.
December 23.
Yeah, 7th of December, I think it was. 7th or 3rd, something like that, anyway.
Yeah.
Early December.
And then you went on your holiday back home to UK.
Yeah.
Can you take us back to that night in Leeds?
Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't know the story, or even a reiteration for people that do, take us back to that night in Leeds. What actually happened that night?
Yeah, so went out with friends. Obviously, it's Boxing Day, so I went and actually watched my old rugby team play, and then all my friends playing that against Leeds and Wakefield. Some of my good friends play for Wakey, some play for Leeds. And we went and watched that. It's Boxing Day, beers with my dad, my brothers, all sorts. Then we went into town. And at the point of where you know you're meant to go home, I'm like, I'm on holiday, like I'm going home. I'll go somewhere else. Anyway, I went into somewhere else, and I don't believe it's the wrong place. I went out, people are like, oh, you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I were in the right place, do you know what I mean? I were out having a good time with family, friends and things like that. It was just that someone else were in there who was an absolute idiot, do you know what I mean? And yeah, basically, long story short is that I was at a bar. I was stood there having a conversation with one of my brother's friends from the gym, and a guy came over with a whiskey glass. I don't know if it was tall or short. It must have been pretty tall because obviously it cut my whole face. And he's come over my right shoulder and glassed me in the face. But at that point, I'm drunk talking, and I thought someone actually put something over my head and dragged me to the floor. So he didn't knock me out when he hit me. But obviously, because I was drunk as well, it's like, bang, he's put something over my head, ripped me to the floor, and I'm like trying to pull something off my head and nothing's there. And then I'm realising, fucking hell, what's gone on? What's on my head? And then Jermaine's jumped on top of me. He's like, don't touch your face. There's glass in your eyes. And the maddest feeling ever is having your eyes open, but you can't see anything. Just total blackness. And I was like, my fucking life's over. I remember hitting the floor and then the realisation of being blind. And then I'm screaming, how bad's it going to be? How bad's it going to be? And people are like, oh, look, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And then I got in the ambulance. Luckily, we're only 10, 15 minutes away. And the blood that were coming off me, my whole clothes were just full of blood. My trainers, everything. It split internally, my mouth, all my lips were split, my nose, my eyebrows. Obviously, I were bleeding internally from my eyes. And yeah, it were, mate, even if it were a couple of inches down, it'd have killed me. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I went back at ambulance, and then my brother and my mum turned up. And then that was just it. Fuck, it hit home hard. And I was like, I even get shivers talking about it, mate. It scares me. It scares the life out of me. Every time I go to bed, I think about it. Do you know, like, I think about waking up not being able to see again. And being in that moment and then waking up the next day was terrifying. And there's nothing in this world that will scare me more than that. I guarantee you.
Yes.
Anything that ever happens to me from now on would never scare me. And the day that I woke up blind, mate, I can't even tell you. It's hard to put into words. It's fucking scary as anything.
100%.
But anyway, sorry. It's intense, isn't it? It's intense. You know, yeah.
When you woke up the next day, what was the first thoughts that popped into your head?
What happened? Because obviously I'd walked over.
Yeah.
And I'd just been in a 5-6 hour surgery. So I woke up, I had all these bandages on my head. So I'm like, right, something serious has happened. So then as soon as I sat up, my mum's next to me, my brothers, my family are in there, some of my friends. And then I'm like, what's gone on? And my mum's like, oh, it's going to be all right, it's going to be all right. And then everyone's panicking and crying and shit. And I'm like, well, it's not all right, mate, because I can't fucking see out. So I started unravelling these bandages off my head and my eyes, and I was pulling stuff off, and they're like, stop, stop, stop. And I'm like, you have to tell me what's going on. So at this point, I don't know where I am, what's gone on, like I'm not remembering because I blacked out, do you know what I mean? And then, because I was drunk and then they put me under, I couldn't even understand what was going on. Yeah. And then, yeah, it got really, really just tragic quick, and I was terrified, mate. I was like, I'm never going to see my partner or my kids ever again. I couldn't even see my family members who were sat next to me. And everyone's getting upset and stuff, and then about 30 minutes or so after I woke up, the surgeons came in, and this bloke's just like, look, we don't know. We don't know. What's happened to you is bad. Like, and you know me, obviously I'm just like, listen, tell me now. Like, I need to know what's gone on. How bad is it? And he's like, it's one of the worst cases we've ever had. So we don't know. You had 30 stitches in your right eye. You have a detached retina. You have no cornea. You have no iris. You have a damaged cornea, no iris in your right eye. Your left eye is totally been severed in half. Full gash straight through it. You have no iris, half iris, damaged cornea, damaged lens. You have no lenses. we don't know what to say. So now we're like, so am I permanently blind? He goes, at this stage, I can't say you're permanently blind, but we don't know. And the blood that was in my, so then imagine I've got my eyes closed. You can sort of not see, but there were blood clots and stuff in my eyes. So I could see stuff moving, and I'm like, I can see stuff moving though. And he's like, look, you need to take some time and just rest. And then, yeah, supposedly I took the bandages off and I pulled the bandages off, and one of my best friends was growing up with my whole life, just started vomiting everywhere, and he's like, I couldn't cope to see you like that. And then my dad, I didn't see my dad and some of my family members because they physically couldn't come see me because how bad of a state I was in my face, all the swelling and stuff. And yeah, mate, I don't know, I'm sat here talking about it, and I can see, I'm looking at you, do you know what I mean? I can see. That moment was so much darkness and torture. It was pure torture. I wouldn't wish it on anyone to have that taken from you, especially in the circumstances how it got taken. That's the worst thing I could think of.
Being somebody that has done, Ironman ridiculous feats in the past, even before that, having that level of resilience, was there ever a point when you were going through that recovery period where that identity was really challenged? And was there ever a point where you just felt like giving up?
I tell you this right now from the bottom of my heart, the only thing that saved me is the training. And I know this sounds, some people will be like, what are you on about training? How did that save you? I'm telling you right now, the only thing that got me through it is like, get up every day, Matt. You'll be able to figure this out if you just get up every day and stick to what you normally do. And so I would have been so that were on the 27th, I was in the hospital, and I got told that a week or so later. So my body went into full shock. I wasn't eating. I got weighed, I think on the 3rd or the 2nd of January, before I next seen the surgeons, and I weighed 89 kilos. Before I went into England, I were about 96. So I'd lost a lot of weight, and gone real drawn and stuff. Where it went with then is it was like, where do we go from here? So my mum's like, what do you think? What do you want to do? And I'm like, right, I need you to get me a kettlebell and a band, an elastic band. And the doctor came in on the 3rd, and he's like, look, mate, get your life set up so that you'd have a dog and a cane. You'd be permanently blind. To just act like that. So I'm like, listen, Mum, what we need to do is, I need to have a good diet, I need the kettlebell, I need a band, and I need to be getting like a cold shower on a morning, go for a walk, do stuff. I need to keep my mind occupied. And then she's like, right, great. So then that were it. I started training in the hospital. So the nurses come in and she's like, what the fuck is this cunt doing? And then I couldn't see so I didn't give a fuck over that. I didn't care about anything apart from, right, I've lost 7 kilos. I look like a fucking rat. Let's do something about it. So then I just were doing loads of light weights, just trying to make myself feel better, just, in general. And then, yeah, we're doing fucking all sorts of stuff. I've been a bit of a muppet, but anyway, I was doing squats and fucking all sorts of shit. And nurses were coming in going, mate, you're meant to be recovering. And I'm like, this is recovering, trust me. Normally I'd be going fucking mental, right? And then, yeah, what happened after that is that training became the full thing to save me for the 7 weeks that were in there. So I started just eating a very clean diet, just all it was were meat, fish and eggs. And then just training in the hospital, going for walks. Outside were probably -5, -6. So we go stand outside and get freezing cold, come back in. But my mum's always trained all her life, so she likes it. Do you know what I mean? And she's like, yeah, fucking, we'll do this. We'll go for a longer walk. And at that point, I had nothing to lose. I'd lost everything. I swear to you, I couldn't see. And to me, I was like, I'm done. Can't ever work again. Can't even see my kids again. I can't even get up out of this bed to go to the toilet by myself. And while we're on about this, every hour, on the hour, I'd have to get steroid drops in my eyes to keep infection out. So I wasn't sleeping the first week or maybe probably 2 weeks, because for 2 weeks straight I was getting the drops in every hour, on the hour. And so it was mentally disturbed, like it was insane. No sleep, staggered sleep, then having mad dreams about being like in a cave or in a room and I couldn't get out. It was weird. Mad dreams about stuff. And then I was dreaming about my kids a lot. And mentally, there's a lot of things that you can watch online where people go into darkness for 3 days and they come out and they're all over the place and mentally it's disturbing. Mate, I was stuck in it for months and months and months. And people would come in and visit me and that, I couldn't even look at them. I'm like, my fucking life's been taken from me. How did it get this bad? And then when police were coming in and everything like that, I'm like, what actually fucking happened? You've got to tell me what happened. Find out who did this. And then, yeah, mate, it's traumatizing. It is. When I think about it now, mate, I am absolutely blessed to be sat right in this situation. I'm blessed beyond belief. Honestly, I think I say it every day. I'm at work and I say to the boys, it is a blessing to be on this scaffolding. I love it, mate. I absolutely love being at work. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. Mad. Good though.
That's absolutely incredible. Like, it's just it's insane what you've put yourself through. And for those that haven't listened and heard the story, it's even still gives me goosebumps every time. Every podcast I've been listening with you in it, it really makes you reflect on ourselves, saying like, fuck, we got it not so bad. What you've gone through was insane. And what I want to bring with that is you worked through it. Quick action too, by the sounds of you, like, I have to keep moving. So what was that moment where, if it was that specific moment when it went from this, like, why me, to what do I got to do now? Like, what to do now?
The thing was with there were no why me or why is this happening to me. My mum was next to me every day going, Matt, it's going to be okay. I'm like, how the fuck can you say it's going to be okay? Have you seen what's going on? Yeah, I'm fucked. And she's going every day she wakes up, mate, and she'll be going, Matt, look, we'll just pray, it'll get better. You'll see one day, you'll be back at home, you're back with your kids. And she drilled it into me. And there wasn't one way where I had no option. We're going one way out, we're going the other. I either can sit and cry about it and be a bitch about it and go, why me, why this? Sit there and eat myself to death and become this negative, sensitive person, which, mate, I'm not. Or I deal with being blind and let's come up with something. Let's just get in a good routine and see what happens, see if they can fix one eye. And then I got this thing in my head that if I get one eye, I don't give a fuck about the other. Let's fix this one because this one's fucked. Do you know what I mean? So then I was like, right, maybe if I can get one eye working, I'll be all right. They'll fix it. I'll have multiple operations and I'll be all right. And then I was just thinking about, right, looking forward to going, imagine if I did that blind. Imagine if I did this blind. Then I started listening to these podcasts and shit and blind people. And then people were messaging me on Instagram from America, other places, all Olympic athletes who are blind. And they were sending me these long-ass messages. And I'm like, I can do this blind. I'll get used to it. And I met that were it. And then I just came to terms with being blind and that. And there were no why me or why this and bitching about it. Because, yeah, I had some days where I'd wake up, mate, and I'd go to, my mum would take me into the bathroom. I couldn't see the fucking bathroom. I couldn't even do it. I'd have to feel around for toilets and shit. And I'd have to wear my undies because my mum would have to wash me and that. And I'm like, I've gone from 33 to 3 years old again. It was like, I was just sat there like, what the fuck? I'm in full-time care as an adult. This is madness. And then I just was like, after a week or two, I'm like, this is life, innit? Let's just roll with it and see what happens.
Wow. So it was like that shift of like from not even just the one now, you went even further, say, what if? What are the possibilities?
Oh, mate,
opportunities that can come
there
out
were things
of this?
in my head, mate. You should have seen some of the shit I was coming up with. I'm like, I could probably run a marathon blind.
and
then my brothers were coming in going, why don't we do one while you're here? And we'll tie each other to it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So, mate, we ended up doing mad shit while I was there. No, I walked up the 3 mountains with my brother blind. So once I got out of hospital, He was like, oh, I'll just tie a band to you, like a gym band, and we'll go walk up these 3 peaks, they're called. So we went and did that, and yeah, mate, it ended up happening. So I did that blind. So.
Wow, that is incredible. It's like the silver lining. Was there any moment like that? It was like, if it was a highlighted moment, even at a dark time, that was like, this is something like epic to reflect on.
Oh, there were many things where, like, even at, do you know? It sounds mad. I've lived away from England for 13 years. In such a bad circumstance, there was so much good about it. Like, we sit here and like, I were blind and fucking, we're smiling and laughing. I was actually smiling and laughing in hospital because my brothers are fucking straight idiots. Do you know what I mean? So they're coming in going, yes, Stevie Wonder, what's happening? And that. Mate, about 3 or 4 days in after they know I got, about, let's say over a week, after I got comfortable and I got set in and like, yes, Stevie Wonder, what's happening? And all this. And people were crack on, mate. But then the thing about it is that bad shit happens to people.
Yes.
And it happens all the time. And yeah, you don't hear about it. And then like, look, I were in a circumstance where I didn't die. And at that time I was fully blind. But there were people that reached out that kids have been killed, husbands have been killed, wives have been killed.
Yes.
From people just picking up a glass and throwing it or doing anything like that. And to this day, mate, I feel absolutely unbelievably blessed that I can see again. On tools, just going mad. Love it.
So good, dude. Wild.
It's good.
How long were you in England before you were allowed to come back?
10 months.
10 months.
Yeah, yeah.
So you spent 10 months over there, doing all that gnarly shit, getting picked on by your brothers.
Yeah.
You came back to Australia and you ramped up.
Yeah.
You didn't just accept, okay, cool, this is how I am. I'm happy that I'm here, all good. A lot of people would have retreated from that and just like said, okay, cool, let's just call it here. You literally ramped up. Where did that decision come from to be like, I don't want to just chill. I want to ramp up and do more events, challenge myself even more?
I think where it came from was like, I did the Ironman and the build up to that was that I had to get in great shape. I had to do this, I had to do that. And I ended up doing it. And then I'm like, this accident happened and I became blind. I'm like, how good would it be just to get back to do one Ironman again? Just blind or not, I'll do one. And let's just see and then what ended up happening was I'm like, right, towards the end of being able to come home, they were like, oh, look, mate, you're going to have to take it easy for 12 months. You're going to have to do this. I'm like, so you're telling me I can't go run, I can't go anything? No, they're like, oh, yeah, you can run. I'm like, so I can run a marathon. They're like, well, yeah. I'm like, because you know I'm gonna, yeah? And the thing about it was that I was just like, look, what is the most dangerous, what is the worst case scenario of when I get home, how bad would it be if I went straight back into training? It's like, well, you're not going to go blind again. As long as you don't play contact sports. Or if you don't knock the retina off the right eye. So I was like, as soon as I got off the plane, I'm like, let's just start fucking ripping in. And let's get to a point where I'm in unbelievable shape again. But if not, better than I was previously. So now the aim is to get in unbelievable shape. But we'll see. Got multiple things going on. Got 3 fucking kids, man.
Literally. The way you ask yourself those questions in those times is amazing to me. Like, people just don't do that. It's nuts.
Matt, I want to ask you a question. What's the last man standing?
So where this stemmed from as well, the last man standing that's Nick Bear. I would listen to a podcast from Nick Bear and stuff, and the last man standing is a 6.7k loop that everyone starts on the hour, every hour. So you complete the 6.7k loop. If you do it in, let's say you did it in 45 minutes, you have a 15-minute rest, you go again. And the concept of it is, the winner is the last man standing to do as many loops as possible. And yeah, it intrigued me. So I'm like, I'm game for that. Let's do that. And then, yeah, we're in it at the minute. We're going to do it again soon. So yeah, I've done one. I'm going to do another one September. So I already signed up straight away as soon as it came out. Boom. Locked in.
It's so on brand. You mentioned off camera to us that not too long ago, that was probably one of the hardest things you've ever done.
Oh, yeah, man.
And When was there a moment during that run where really everything started to hit home? When you were kind of looping around, you just kept going, and you what did you reach at total?
101 point something, I think it is. Yeah, 15 laps. Yeah.
Jesus, over 100 Ks. What was there a moment where everything just hit you emotionally?
Oh, the emotional side of things is not. Do you know when you're in that where you're like, this is tough. Like you've done yourselves have done marathons and things. You hit that 30k mark, 35k mark, and like, we don't want to be here, do we? we don't want to do this for any more longer than we have to.
Yeah.
And there were a point in it where I got to about the 74k mark. When I got back from the 74k mark, I think it was lap 11 or something. Going into that next lap, it's dark, grim, and I had no shirt on all day. Some boys, and it's just you're alone in dark and you're running and you're thinking, why the fuck did this happen? Why did we sign up to this? What's going on? Your feet are killing, everything hurts. And you know, the longest I've ever run is 72 Ks over a couple of days. Do you know what I mean? So before this, even when you're in that marathon, you know your body breaks down around about 30 to 40 Ks. You're there, you know, right? I doubled that already. So I was like, fuck. And I wore 100 kegs. I'm like, mate, I shouldn't be here. Anyway, we got to that stage and then we spoke about for weeks previously between people how far I'd want to run. And I'm like, listen, I ain't leaving until I've done 100 Ks. I got to get 100. So I was happy with it. And then the next 3 or 4 laps were just, feet were in bits. Everything were hurting, hammies, hip flexors, everything. And we weren't eating correctly. We got there late. We didn't warm up. One of the boys brought a suitcase. Mate, we were madness. But yeah, it's one of them things where you're in the mix of it. It was traumatising. But mate, like I say, anything you do that is challenging and does test you, once you finish and you look back at it, you're like, we have to do that again. Well, that's how I think anyway. I don't think everyone else does. But everyone I know, who I hang around with and associate with, is like that. Do you know what I mean? So it makes me, that it's great. Do you know what I mean?
It's like the pursuit of the itself is more rewarding than the actual getting to the end, you know?
Like they say, the journey is the film.
Yep.
The journey getting to anywhere is way better than the ending.
I love that.
Because you see yourself start something, and day by day by day, you're just getting better, ticking the boxes, brick by brick. So much slowly happening, but you don't see it like straight away. But then you get to this event and then you complete the event and you're like, it's over. I've done it. And you're like, get back into it and get back into the training, because the way you're building is the training. The best thing about it is you are building brick by brick, bettering yourself. And even when I talk to people about it, they're like, oh, what makes you want to get up early and do this and that? It's because the end goal does matter to an extent, but it's the goal of getting there that's way better. Like the enjoyment of what you see, your body starts to change, people around you start to see different things about you, and the journey is the film. It's good. The journey is great. It is great.
Quote that.
Yeah.
The journey is the film.
Yeah, the journey is.
That's good. Just one last quick question on the last man standing. What was which kilometer where you said I'm doing the 100?
Yeah, so 80 would have been like mid-80s. I were like, there ain't no way I'm giving up. I'll fucking crawl if I have to. We have to get this done. But you've got to imagine, it's in the middle of the night and I can't see fuck all. Yes. So I've got a torch, looking at the fucking floor, mate, and boys are getting back quicker than me. And they're going, oh, did you see that lad who fell and this and that? And I'm like, mate, I didn't see shit. I had my head on the floor running. And that were it. Or I'd glance up, I'd glance down, because as soon as I were glancing up, I can't see nothing past 4 or 5 metres. And I'd had my lenses in all day. They'd fog up, not fog up, fog up. And then as soon as, because I've got no light perspective, that once all the lights have gone and you're in the middle of the woods, I've just got this fucking head torch that I bought from Bunnings. Shit. And it's just like, what am I doing here? And it got to the point where if I begin to get extremely tired, this is extremely dangerous, because I could really hurt myself. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Kick a log, fall over, flesh floor, all sorts of stuff were going through my head. So I'm like, listen, concentrate. So my concentration levels were through the roof, just looking at things in front of me. But I can't imagine what it's going to be like when I do 160.
Dude, I cannot believe that. And also, having no goalposts, like you can literally stop whenever you want. In a marathon, 42.2.
Yeah.
You know where that finish line is.
That's the maddest thing.
Yeah.
There is no goal. There's no end goal. So we are just going to do this till the wheels fall off.
Yes.
And that was it.
Yes. And how do you break that mental, your brain and your demons telling you, oh man, your wheels have already fallen off.
Yeah, that's
you need to stop. And then pushing through that and just continuing to go. How do you do that?
Oh, there's moments there where you're thinking, definitely shouldn't have signed up to this. A hot bath and a pizza would be well nice now. And I were running around going, when I get back there, I'm making sure someone gets me a Coca-Cola because I'm stinging for some sugar. I was saying all sorts of stuff in my head just to get through to the next stage and the next stage. And then the boys that I were there with, they're mental too. But they're big blokes too. So they were struggling just as much. But like, obviously it wasn't as hard. It's still hard for everyone. But like, mate, I was just trying to focus so hard on just getting each round in. And then the darkness were playing its part on my eyes and stuff. And I was just like, but we're here. We're not here to make excuses. 100k is getting done. That's what I just need to get done today. And we'll see. And that were it.
Setting that goal and sticking to it.
That's it, yeah.
Saying that is one thing, but actually going and doing that. When
totally big difference. Totally.
You've got like real life excuses.
Yeah.
Like, you got a fucking massive excuse.
I could have pulled up at the start line and just said, I think the sun went down at 6 o'clock. So it would have been, we started at 8. So around 10, I could have been like, look, there's no point me running in the dark. I'll just give up here. Could have easily done it as well. I had an easy ticket out. But then I was like, you're a pussy if you go home. Yeah. And then I was like, nah, there's no way I'm going home. But then you have these things in your head, oh, what if this, what if that? But then there were no doubt in my mind. I was like, listen, I've come to get the 100. We're getting the 100. Don't care how I do it. Don't care if I get back here in 59 minutes, I have to turn around online and go again. We're just going to do it. And that were it, mate. I got the 100 and I achieved it. And then there were that moment, I got back with like 3 minutes spare of the once I'd passed 100. And Austin goes to me, big man, you can go again. I'm like, listen, I've just made this back. I'm not going back out there so you can run past me and go, you're not going to make it back. So I was like, I got the 100. I've come to do what I've done. So they went another lap after me. And then I'm like, right, next time round, I get here the day before. I get prepared. I train. Didn't even train for 100k. Didn't do any of that. The mental battle mentally I just got through it. I'm like, I'm going to prepare myself so well that there is definitely 100 miles getting done. 160 kilometers, definitely.
I remember you telling me you got this ultra marathon, this backyard ultra. And I'm like, oh, how's your running been going? You're like, I don't know. Running? I don't know. I'm like, okay, this motherfucker is crazy. We've got to get him on the podcast.
There's definitely you need to train for that. If you're gonna compete, like if you're gonna go past the 160 mark of doing 100 miles, going into the 200s, you actually have to be prepared. Mate, the preparation was very piss poor from me, Austin, and Fionn. Terrible, mate. Fionn turned up with a suitcase and he'd never even run before. So, fucking hell.
It takes a tremendous amount of resilience to complete that for one, but also everything that you've done, even before the injury, all that sort of stuff. I want to ask, when you went through that situation in Leeds, since you were already so resilient, you had all this discipline, you were that guy, you were that version of you. Did that event change how you look at resilience?
I wouldn't say it changes the way I look at it. I think it's just implemented another boundary of where I think I was putting limits on. Now when I look at it, now I've been blind and things like that, I look back and I'm like, I could push harder than that, like I was before. I know I can get better. And people are asking me like, do you think you'll be able to get back to be able to do an Ironman? I'm like, mate, I'm going to get back and I'm going to smoke that time that I just got. And they look at him like, oh, he's talking shit. And then I used to say stuff to my brothers and their girlfriends and stuff. They were like, Matt, you are mad if you think you're ever going to get back there. And now the resilience that I do have, well, I believe I have had anyway, it hasn't heightened the resilience. It's heightened what you can actually achieve as a human. There is people out there doing 100 Ironmen in 100 days. There's people out there doing many, many things that are unbelievably amazing. Even people I look up to. What I do is nothing. My missus, I watch stuff and I'm watching podcasts and things, and my missus is like, why do you even want to do that? Like, I'm like, even looking at someone like Ross Edgley, he pulled a mini for a marathon. He climbed a rope the same height as Mount Everest. Things like that. They thrill me to go do something like that. And my missus looks at me like, why would you even look at someone like him? You're a weirdo. I'm like, it inspires. Like I said, the resilience is always there. I just believe that we can push harder always. A lot harder than you actually think.
I love that. So it hasn't necessarily changed how you think about it. It's just amplified who you are.
It's amplified of,
Yeah.
I wasn't doing enough.
Sorry, you go.
No, I'm saying, no, I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't doing enough. I'm like talking myself out of it. Oh, I didn't do enough. Yeah, well, you trained fucking 13 sessions a week. You were doing enough, man.
You're not that. With these, what you do so well in is perspective. And with things like, as we're like going through this podcast, it really just, you can tell it played so much of a positive impact in just your journey of just look at it in a different way. And when you lost your sight specifically, when has losing your sight given you a kind of vision that you didn't have before, and what can you see now that others are maybe blind to?
Good question. I don't really see that others don't. So the perspective thing is that we don't know how lucky we are. That's what the main thing is. You don't know what you've actually got. Like, even when I came to Australia, I'm from a place where you don't have the luxury of living around really nice people, a nice area, living near the ocean, having a very well, like, clean, nice country, good things, do you know what I mean? England's very rough and rugged, and there's a lot of aggression and anger there. And when I left and I came here, before my accident, I used to run around here and I'd be like, this is a blessing to be here, and life is great. And then this happened to me. And then I'm like, people don't understand what they have got until you lose everything. And mate, I was so far at the bottom. Like, even when I used to tell myself, I'm like, this death would probably be a lot easier than the situation that I'm in if I'd have died. And I know it sounds mad, but I cannot tell you the mental struggle that you have to go through to get through it. And it's not like, oh yeah, you got through it, this and that. It's none of that. I'm on about that. The thing is that being in that blind and by yourself, and yeah, people are around you, but mate, it's mental torture inside your head. And to get through it, I just look at it now and I'm like, my life is a blessing, mate. My life is a true blessing. Life is a blessing, and people don't understand. And you wake up every day and people are getting angry over nothing. And back then, I used to get angry over, like, before the accident, I used to get angry over the smallest shit at work. I'd let things stress me out that were tiny. I couldn't give a rat's ass what's going on. Now, little stuff that if I can't change it, or it's going to affect me, then it's not going to affect me in 10 years' time. I actually don't care about it anymore. I don't even let it affect me. And people around me have started to notice that as well, that I'm a lot less calmer, a lot less worried about things, because I used to worry about everything. And now I'm just like, listen, if I catch it, if it's not going to affect me in 10 years' time, it's not going to affect my family or anything like that, see ya. It'll fix itself. And that's it. I just think, yeah, massive how lucky you are. People need to understand how lucky they actually are to be able-bodied, to go out, just go for a run, go for a bike ride, go to the gym, go see your friends. Wake up, mate, as mad as this sounds, wake up, look at yourself in the mirror and brush your teeth. Mate, I could do none of this. And it sounds insane, but just standing and brushing your teeth and looking at yourself, mate, I didn't do it for a year nearly. And then I did, and then finally I got some sight back, and I'm like, wow, I've missed you, Matty Syron. I've missed you. It's mental. It is mental. But yeah, to answer the question, yeah, it's the thing about how lucky we are to be who we are. Do you know what I mean? And have what we have. It's unreal.
Just the level of gratitude. It's like, you can, like, even just like here now, you can really feel it, and it just it honestly warms us. Like it warms me up.
Yeah.
And what was up, Jibbo?
It gets me, yeah, it gets me every time, mate. Trust me. I can't tell you how good it is to just even be sat in this situation talking about it. It's, like I said to you, it's a blessing, mate. I swear, honestly.
Something like similar, like you mentioned before, like, you know, even just the gratitude of just brushing your teeth in the morning. Was there any particular things of just like you kind of oversaw before where you're just like, this is awesome? Like you mentioned before, like, being on the tools and stuff like that. And what other things that was just like, man, this is the best?
Oh, like just even going down, leaving my front door and walking down to the beach, looking at the ocean and watching my kids play in the park. I'm just like, my life, it doesn't even care what you have, what money you have in your bank account, what anything else like that. It doesn't matter what you have. Enjoy the little things that matter to you. And what matters to me is my partner, my kids, and just enjoying every day as it comes. And now the little things that I do love is I finish work and I go get my kids and we go down to Bellambi Beach and I teach my sons beach sprints and chin-ups and I'm blessed to be there, blessed. Day's been stressful, so what? Go have fun with your kids. It's mad. It is madness.
Oh man, that is so. I love that so fucking much. So obviously, with all this vision now, not like no pun intended.
Yeah.
But
Big vision.
sorry,
brother.
sorry, man. Shit. Cut that out of the pod. But with this clarity, there we go. Knowing you have this new level of gratitude, which you may have had before as well, but again, amplified now.
Definitely amplified.
Due to the perspective shifting. Somebody else that's going through their darkest day, like you were in that hospital bed when you woke up. If somebody else is going through their version of their darkest day, what advice would you give them? If you could sit down next to them and say, hey, look, what would that be?
Good question. Look, I would, if someone was in them circumstances and I was looking from the outside in, I would say, listen, look, this situation you're in is dark and it's going to be very, very tough to get through what you're about to go through. But you just need to understand you're here, you're alive, you're breathing. Just take each day as it comes and just stay positive, pray a little bit, talk in your own head, talk to Jesus, talk to whoever you want, right? You will get through this. You're strong enough to get through it. You just have to keep telling yourself and remind yourself that you're still here, and while you're still here, you're still going to be breathing, talking, walking. There is someone out there that's going to be a lot worse than you. You don't know it and you don't know them, but someone is always worse than you. So just get up every day and do what you believe is best for you, and it'll be all right. It will be all right. To an extent of, yeah, it will be all right. You don't know what circumstance that person is, but I used to just, well, I didn't. My mum used to just fucking preach to me. Yeah, it's going to be all right every day. Every day she used to say it. And I never seen it short term. I never thought, I'm like, shut up, Mum, I'm blind. You don't know what you're talking about. And then slowly but surely, each day as it comes, some days are bad. Some days are very bad. But you have to be tough enough just to get through them tough days, because good days are coming. Like I say, the journey is the film.
That's so powerful.
That's good.
Just quickly on that, how much responsibility for your success coming through this and coming out the other end being such an amazing man, how much would you give that? How much responsibility would you give that to your mum?
Oh, man, all of it, mate. So, with something bad happening, someone that my mum was my rock, do you know what I mean? To sit on and dwell, and she were there, and she's been through some bad times in her life, and then to watch me go through probably the worst thing that will ever happen to me, well, I'm hoping the worst thing that will ever happen to me, she was there every day, mate, even though she were well annoying. Well, she were there every day, slept on a floor for 5, 6, 7 weeks, whatever it was, in a hospital, didn't leave my side, did everything for me, mate, absolutely. I owe my mum tons. But me and my mum are like the same person, so we don't get along that well. We're always clashing. So, but yeah, I do owe it. And to my brothers and my friends who were there, they got me out of hospital. They took me for coffee. They took me for walks, talking like I'm a dog or something like that. Fucking. I went walkies. Fucking yeah. But do you know what I mean? That if it weren't for them people, it's hard, you know what I mean? Like, you're good in numbers, do you know what I mean? In anything you ever do, you are good in numbers, you're better in numbers, everything is, do you know what I mean? So I think that I needed them people there, and I fell back on some people I hadn't seen for a long time, and they showed their true colours. But a lot of people showed their true colours, people who reached out who I've never met in my life, and said things and did things and sent me things, and yeah, massive, mate, massive. But I owe it to a lot of people. That's why I want to raise money now, just to give back to other people that I know are struggling and having no sight. It's horrible. So my aim is to give back and help others.
I love that. And just on that last bit you mentioned, the giving back, could you give us a rundown on what things you're doing for this movement, this next stage of your life?
I think that for the next indefinitely, I'm not going to give it any years. It's going to be a very, very long time. The businesses that I own, the things that I do, I'm going to keep a GoFundMe page open indefinitely just for people to give into. And it's just for people who have got sight loss. And recently I've had raised $6,000, and I've given it to George and Matilda Eye Care in Albion Park, which have got young families that, because obviously your Medicare only helps so much, but there's these kids with terrible sight that'll never probably able to properly see again. And I just want to be able to give back to them and others to give into this GoFundMe to help these kids. And that's where the money's actually going, mainly is to young families who have got blind kids or bad visual impairment. And mate, I get messages and it makes my day. I'm stood at work and a woman messaged me the other day and she says, listen, you've just paid for my son's eye care, my 3 sons. And wow. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And then I'm at work, and if I were an emotional guy, I'd have been crying my eyes out. I sent it to my missus, she's ringing me bawling. I'm like, chill out. And and then now, obviously, because I've got a good relationship with George and Matilda Eye Care, because they're looking after me, they're picking certain families. I'm just giving them the money, and then they're picking certain families that they believe that will help the most. So the money goes to a great place. It's not like giving it to somewhere where you give it to a big, large company, you never see it again. I get to see this, and I get to talk to the people. Yeah, it's amazing, mate. So these events that are coming up, I'm going to just say, look, put $5 in. You know what I mean? You're helping someone else. It's a coffee a day, do you know what I mean? Put $5 in and don't have your morning coffee, which is...
Makes all the difference.
I know, mate. It does. Giving is receiving, do you know what I mean? So I need to, mentally as well, I want to just, train the house down, do these mad challenges. I'm going to keep doing loads of mad shit and hopefully raise loads and loads of money.
We can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
we can't wait to see it.
Yeah, well, everyone will be a part of it. We're all a part of it. Do you know what I mean? We're a team. So yeah, loads of people are going to be a part of it, and the main aim is just raise as much as I can and help as many people as possible along the way.
Awesome, man. Speaking of part of it, you're obviously through this whole podcast. Resilience is the value. Resilience, you've been through it all, and for someone listening to this, obviously we can base it, from your story and everything you overcome, it's been built on, fortified, just keep building. What is the first brick? If someone listens to this podcast, you want to build that resilience, be the best they can, keep pushing, what's that first brick for them to make that step?
The first brick would be just get up and go. Do you know what I mean? Get off the sofa, get out of bed, wherever you are, sat there watching your Netflix or sat there eating biscuits or whatever situation you're in, and you want to change, just take one day at a time. Don't set these stupid goals of, I want to do that. If you're in a circumstance where you've never trained before, you've never done this, you've never done that, just wake up one day and be like, right, for me to get to that point, I have to get through each one of these days. What do I have to do to get through each one of these days? And you set just little goals, like anything. You go into train for a marathon. What is the first week like? Nothing. Like, going for a little run, a long distance run. A long distance walk, a steady, slow run, whatever. These small implications over time are massive towards the end goal. Do you know what I mean? But starting is just getting up. Start the first day as it comes, take it on the chin, but then keep repeating it. Don't just fail. Or you're gonna have a day where you go, I can't be arsed today. But the best thing about it is, on that day that you don't want to do that, the day that you do that is even better, because I have thousands of them days where I wake up, my alarm goes off, I'm like, I definitely don't want to go to the gym today. Or I definitely don't want to do this today. But then I go do it, and then I'm like, how good is it that I did that? And that's where you're building the resilience, because your body and your mind are telling you, nah, just relax, just stay in bed. But then you're like, you go do it, and then you feel unbelievable for doing it. So then, and that's the day you didn't want to train. So imagine the day when you wake up the next day and you actually like, right, I'm going to rip in today. The session gets better, and then you get better. And as you implement this over days and days and months and years, you start gradually just becoming unbelievable at it. And you beat your alarm. You beat waking the alarm. The alarm don't even go off. You 15 minutes before it. Your body just adapts naturally. It's, yeah. If you were going to start from nothing, take one day at a time. One day turns into months and years. And if you've kept turning up every day, you can't fail. You can't fail.
Dude, your passion about like even the small things like this.
Yeah.
It blows me out it blows me away. It's nuts.
It's mad.
I want to thank you so fucking much for coming on with me.
Thank you,
seriously,
boys, mate.
myself
I've
and
loved
Danny,
it.
Like, it's been insane. You're definitely one of the biggest role models in my life. Like, as a man, like, it's absolutely incredible.
Thank you,
I want
Mama.
you to quickly tell the people about South Coast Hydrate. What's it all about?
Yeah, South Coast Hydrate started probably, my brother started a business 3 or 4 years ago. And yeah, look, I never took the leap into opening my own water business. Didn't at the time, it probably was the right time, but I didn't know that. I was too scared to risk it. And over the years, I've watched my brother's company grow and him grow. And I thought, why not take the shot, see what happens? What's the worst thing that can happen? It fails. Oops, it failed. So the aim is, yeah, South Coast Hydrate is an alkaline water business. It's canned by me, poured by me, my family. And the main aim of it is just to make everyone else's life balanced and healthier. And the 10% of every can, everything in that, well, any profits every 6 months, I just give to the blind and visually impaired. Let's just see how it goes.
Matt, Syron,
There we go.
thank you so much for coming onto this episode. This
Thank
is
you,
the
boys.
Split Shift Pod, and we hope you enjoyed. I'm blown out of the water. I got really nothing to say. How are we gonna outro this? We hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you got you've taken something away from this. You'd be able to take that first step in resilience. The man himself, his story is absolutely incredible. If you'd like to go follow Matt on his Instagram, we'll put this in the link in bio on YouTube, as well as the GoFundMe for, what was the company name?
As the GoFundMe page.
GoFundMe, yeah.
Oh, it's just visually impaired. Matt Syron, visually impaired. I think that's what it is, GoFundMe. So
Perfect.
as soon as you search my name, I think it comes up on GoFundMe.
Awesome. As you guys will know, it makes a huge difference. It's $5. Just put it away and it can really help someone's life, which is awesome. But if you've liked this episode, please like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, we hope you enjoyed it and leave us a 5 stars and also a bit of a review on what you might have taken away from this episode. And this is season 3 for the Split Shift Pod. Matt, again, just a round of applause.
Yeah, the boys.
Yeah,
The boys.
It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you in season 4. Bye.
Done.
Holy shit.
All right, let me go for a piss. Fucking hell, Jesus.